Listen closely. What you felt last week, that wasn't the storm. That was the inhale before the scream. This week, everything changes. Everything breaks. Pay attention. That strange stillness you felt? That wasn't peace. That was the universe holding its breath. Some people felt the pull, the subtle warning, maybe even dismissed it as anxiety or a weird mood. But that quiet, it was the calm before the collapse. And it's starting now. Did you feel it? That sense that time was warping, stretching thin one moment, rushing the next? Maybe a strange quiet in your own mind, even when the world outside was noisy? Let me know in the comments right now. Did last week feel off to you? Because you weren't imagining it. That was the tension building, the wires tightening. And this week, they snap. Understand this, nobody sidesteps what's coming. This isn't optional. The moon, the celestial body governing our deepest tides, our hidden emotions, our primal instincts, is making a move, a big one. And you, whether you know it or not, are standing directly in its path. But here's where it gets personal, where it gets critical for you specifically. What if you're one of the ones who are hypersensitive to this lunar frequency right now? What if your energetic system is already ringing like a bell and you haven't even consciously registered the signal yet? There are signs, very specific tells. Your body knows before your conscious mind catches up. I will break those down for you, but you need to stay locked in, because the undercurrents of this week are already pulling at your reality in ways you haven't grasped. But hold on, because that's not even the main event. That's just the prelude. In a few short days, the moon does something. It gets too close. Forget your garden variety new moon. This isn't just a refresh. This is a super new moon, blacked out, invisible, and closer to Earth than it has been in a long, long time. Mark this date, April 27th. This isn't some poetic metaphor. This is physics. The moon hits perigee, its absolute closest point to our planet. Imagine something immense, powerful, influencing gravity and tides, suddenly standing right outside your energetic window. And at that exact moment of closest approach, total darkness, a new moon blackout. It's like the universe cuts the power while leaning in close. You can't see the threat, but you feel the presence. The pressure shifts. The unseen forces intensify. When this happens, your primal self reacts first. Forget logic. Forget reason. Your nervous system, your emotional body, they know something fundamental has shifted. Watch people around you. Observe yourself. Emotions go haywire. Misunderstandings flare up out of nowhere. That calm surface from last week, shattered. Something deep within you starts to stir. A raw, ancient feeling you can't name or explain. If you wake up on the 27th feeling dislocated, like you spent the night somewhere else, somewhere not quite Earth, you're not crazy, you're tuning in. Dreams. Oh, the dreams this week will be something else, not just vivid, hyper-real, visceral, like forgotten memories bubbling up, or future echoes bleeding through. They might leave you shaken, emotional, without any logical reason. And secrets? Anything you've been suppressing, a truth, a desire, a decision you're avoiding, this super new moon energy has a way of yanking it out into the open. Ready or not. Listen, this isn't about spreading fear. This is about awareness. It's about recognizing the energetic weather pattern so you can navigate it consciously instead of being tossed around by it. Because the intensity builds, and by April 29th, we enter the illusion phase. And that, my friends, is a whole different kind of treacherous. Do not fall for the superficial shine. Not all attention is a gift, and not all that glitters serves your soul. Today, the sky is a battleground of competing energies. The Moon, Venus, and Saturn are locked in a tense cosmic standoff. Think of it like three powerful personalities stuck in an elevator. The air crackles. It's never neutral. Venus screams, "Love me, validate me." Saturn demands, "Control yourself, be responsible." The Moon whispers, "Feel your truth. What do you really need?" And you're caught in the middle of this psychic tug of war. One minute you might feel this deep pull to connect, to be vulnerable, to open your heart. The next, an overwhelming pressure to appear strong, composed, utterly unbothered, even if you feel like you're fraying at the edges innate. Can you feel that tension, that internal conflict? This planetary clash breeds a specific kind of social weirdness, a sudden, almost compulsive urge to impress people you don't even genuinely care about, a craving for external validation, for being chosen or seen, but it feels hollow, artificial. Why? Because it is. It's an echo of the planetary tension, not your authentic self. Beauty, control, and authentic emotion are duking it out. This is when the need to be perceived a certain way hijacks your actual needs and truths. Be vigilant. Watch for subtle digs disguised as jokes. Notice if you start comparing yourself relentlessly. Feel that pang of falling behind, that sudden craving for attention from someone who gives you nothing real. That is this alignment messing with your energetic field, poking at your sense of self-worth. It subtly pushes you to perform, to wear a mask, to betray your own feelings just to keep the peace or earn scraps of validation. Resist. The most powerful thing you can do under this sky? Refuse to play the game. Refuse to react to the provocation. Center yourself in your truth, even if it feels uncomfortable or vulnerable. The universe often speaks volumes in the pauses, in the silences, in what is not said. Don't get drawn into the drama. Observe it instead. Now, let's talk about April the 26th. Something quieter, but profoundly significant happens. The Moon forms a direct conjunction with Mercury, the planet of thought, communication, the messenger. Forget fireworks. This is about whispers, subtleties, glitches in the matrix. This is the day you're doing something mundane, driving, showering, scrolling, and a sudden insight, a solution, a memory, flashes into your mind with crystal clarity. It feels like it came from nowhere, but it didn't. You might overhear a snippet of conversation that seems tailor-made for you. A song lyric hits differently. You think of someone out of the blue, and then bam, they text, or you see their name somewhere unexpected. This isn't Mercury shouting logic. This is Mercury filtering its messages through the Moon's intuitive, symbolic language. It speaks in echoes, feelings, synchronicities. Pay attention to the coincidences, the gut feelings, the random chills. When your mind is quiet, what drifts in? That's not noise, that's contact. This is a prime time to pose a question to your deeper self, your subconscious, and just listen for the answer. Not from Google, not from friends, but from that inner knowing. Trust the weird timing. Trust the resonance. Trust that memory surfacing for no reason. This is your higher self, your intuition, slipping messages under the door. Psychic mail delivered directly, but be discerning. Caution. Not every thought that pops into your head is divine guidance. The Moon amplifies emotion. Remember, It can dramatize Mercury's signal. You might get a flash of intuition wrapped in anxiety, or a genuine insight clouded by wishful thinking. You have to feel through the static. Does the message bring clarity, even if challenging? Or does it feed fear and confusion? Learn to discern the signal from the noise. Now, brace yourself for April 29th. This isn't a gentle pause. This is a soul audit, delivered with an almost icy precision. Venus, planet of love, harmony, pleasure, connection, comes face to face with Saturn, the stern teacher, guardian of karma, master of time, limits, and cold, hard reality. This conjunction is rare, and it does not care about fuzzy feelings or romantic ideals. Saturn deals in truth, unvarnished, uncompromising. And when it touches Venus, the planet of our hearts, you will feel the shift. Expect a sudden, cold front in relationships. People might withdraw emotionally. Communication could feel strained, distant. You might suddenly question a connection or feel someone else questioning you. Don't panic. The emotions haven't vanished. They're just being put under Saturn's microscope. It feels intensely personal, like rejection. But try to see the bigger picture. This is evaluation, not punishment. The universe, through Saturn, is running a diagnostic on every significant bond in your life, asking one crucial question. Is this connection built on solid ground? Does it truly serve your soul's evolution? Or is it a comfortable distraction, a pretty illusion? Under this intense scrutiny, superficial bonds, connections based on convenience or fantasy, tend to crumble fast. The relationships, the friendships, the partnerships that weather this energy, those have the potential for real longevity. They've passed the stress test. Understand, not every connection should survive this. Not every bond is meant for the next chapter. The friction, the discomfort you might feel right now, that's Saturn trying to save you future heartache by revealing the cracks in the foundation now. Letting go might hurt, but holding on to something misaligned hurts more in the long run. Conversely, some commitments might solidify now, but they won't feel giddy or impulsive. They'll feel weighty, serious, grounded, real. That's the Saturn seal of approval. This isn't just romance, it's soulmate energy disguised as a reality check. So if a connection ends or shifts dramatically around the 29th, allow it. Trust the process. You're not losing something true. You're shedding an illusion that was blocking something truer. And if someone steps closer, demonstrates real commitment during this cool down, pay very close attention. That's not random. That's a potential soul contract being activated or reaffirmed. But wait, just before this intense Venus-Saturn reality check, there's another layer of complexity. Something even stranger brewing on April the 28th. Venus, Saturn, and Neptune drift into a close alignment. A triangle of potent, potentially confusing energy. When these three forces touch, reality can get slippery. Think about it. Desire meets boundaries, meets the master of illusion. This creates what can only be described as a cosmic mirage. A potent field where fantasy feels utterly real, logic gets fuzzy, and deep longings surface with overwhelming intensity. This is the kind of energy where your imagination runs wild, potentially overpowering common sense. You might feel an intense, magnetic pull towards someone or something, convinced it's destiny, convinced it's the one. But pause. Is it real? Or is it a beautiful projection of your unmet needs, amplified by Neptune's fog? An opportunity might appear, looking like the answer to all your prayers. Shiny, perfect, too good to be true? Under this alignment, it probably is. Read the fine print. Look beneath the surface. This Venus-Saturn-Neptune triangle doesn't necessarily lie maliciously. It just shows you the idealized version, the shimmering potential, regardless of the underlying reality. This is the mirage test. Not everyone passes. Be incredibly wary of daydreams that feel overly cinematic, almost scripted. If a situation or person seems absolutely flawless, hit the brakes. If someone's words perfectly mirror your deepest desires, question their motives and your own. This energy tempts you with exactly what you crave, testing whether you'll chase the glittering surface or demand substance. But here's the deeper truth, the hidden gift. This energy isn't designed to trick you cruelly. It's educational. It holds up a mirror to your deepest yearnings, your unfulfilled desires, so you can finally see them clearly. Understand what you're truly searching for. The test isn't whether you get fooled. The test is whether you can sit with that intense desire without needing the illusion to be real. Can you acknowledge the longing without chasing the mirage? If you can do that, if you can hold that space of awareness, you gain a level of clarity most will miss entirely. You'll see through the Neptunian fog, and whatever remains standing after the mist clears, that will be authentic. That will be real. Remember earlier, when I said some of you might be acutely sensitive to the moon right now, maybe without even realizing it. The moon doesn't just move oceans, it pulls on our inner tides, our hidden truths. Let's talk about how to know if you're one of the moon's sensitives navigating this intense week. With the moon dangerously close, blacked out, and interacting with all this intense planetary weather, the veil between the conscious and subconscious, the physical and energetic, is paper thin. For some individuals, that veil isn't just thin, it's tearing. The moon sensitives are already feeling the grid shifting. You might notice it in yourself or others. Watch for people suddenly pausing mid-sentence, zoning out, eyes slightly distant, as if listening to something others can't hear. They aren't being rude, they're tuned in to a different frequency that's flooding the system. These are the people who might abruptly cancel plans, needing sudden solitude. They might feel overwhelmed in crowds, agitated by noise, or just fundamentally off without knowing why. They might look physically tired, but it's not exhaustion, it's recalibration. Their systems are processing energetic downloads at high speed. They'll crave quiet, darkness, water, nature, anything to ground them. They might become unusually quiet, feeling everything intensely, but struggling to articulate it. Don't mistake their silence for disinterest. Some might experience sudden flashes of insight, moments of knowing without logical explanation. Others might feel energy buzzing in their hands or bodies for the first time. Some might find themselves crying unexpectedly, watching a commercial, listening to music, and dismiss it as being overly emotional. It's not just emotion. It's the system cracking open, releasing old energy, becoming more receptive. This week throws the spotlight on the hidden empaths, the intuitives, the feelers who often try to blend in. If this sounds like you, don't pathologize it. Don't brush it off. Your energetic system is showing you its innate capability. This is an awakening, an upgrade, even if it feels uncomfortable right now. And if you recognize this in someone around you, offer them space, understanding, and patience. They're navigating a significant internal shift. And the dreams, some of you aren't just dreaming, you're remembering. Around the 27th, with that super new moon at perigee, coupled with Mercury's influence, we get a phenomenon we could call dream bleed or timeline interference. Expect reports of waking up utterly exhausted despite sleeping for hours, feeling shaken, disturbed, or strangely emotional for no apparent reason tied to the previous day. Many will feel like they lived entire lifetimes overnight. Some dreams will feel uncannily like memories of things that have happened, perhaps from a different angle. Others will feel like previews of things that haven't occurred yet, but carry a feeling of inevitability. It's that bizarre energy where you wake up certain you received a text, only to find your phone blank, or you vividly replay a conversation that never actually took place. At least, not in this reality stream. This isn't just your brain processing daily data. This is the thinning veil, allowing fragments, emotions, echoes from parallel timelines, past life imprints, or unresolved ancestral patterns to seep through. Waking up with strange phrases echoing in your mind, unfamiliar names, a song stuck on loop that feels significant but you don't know why? Do not ignore this. These aren't random firings of synapses. They are echoes from the deeper self. Your subconscious is doing a deep dive, pulling files, some recent, some ancient. For some, the dreams will be so specific, so emotionally resonant, they defy logical explanation as mere fiction. If this happens to you, write it down. Keep a dream journal religiously this week. Don't analyze for plot or logic initially. Look for recurring themes, emotions, symbols. If one particular feeling or image keeps circling back, your psyche is urgently trying to bring something to your conscious attention. Pay extra attention to any dream fragments that trigger intense déjà vu, that feeling of having lived it before. These moments, these loops, are potential portals for understanding and release. And these openings won't stay accessible forever. You are not stuck. You are being reformed. This entire week is drenched in pressure. It might not be loud, external chaos. It's an internal pressure cooker. Feeling scattered, overwhelmed, like your thoughts are frantic, trying to escape your own skull, like you can't focus, can't find motivation? That is not chaos for chaos' sake. Moon at perigee, Venus wrestling Saturn, Mercury whispering through the veil, Neptune weaving illusions. It's all pushing towards one singular point: transformation. What feels like failure, like burnout, like confusion? Reframe it. That is the squeeze before the shift. This is the chrysalis stage, the uncomfortable, messy, breaking down part before the emergence. The stretching, the cracking, the shaking from within. Motivation dips, focus wavers. You find yourself zoning out, doom scrolling, questioning absolutely everything. This is normal for this energetic climate. It's part of the reset, because genuine breakthroughs rarely arrive announced by trumpets and confetti. They often come disguised as breakdown, as confusion, as deep emotional fog, as the feeling that you can't possibly go on like this. You are not broken. You are clearing space. Old programming is dissolving. Outdated belief systems are collapsing. Energetic debris is being purged. So if this week feels impossibly intense, heavy, confusing, or just plain weird, take a deep breath. That means the process is working. Because the shift that follows this pressure, it's coming. And the you that emerges on the other side will not be the same you that entered this week. If you've stayed with me through this entire transmission, thank you. Your attention Your willingness to look beneath the surface is deeply appreciated in these critical times. If this resonated, if it sparked understanding or gave you context for what you're feeling, please consider clicking that subscribe button. Your support helps this channel continue to bring forth this kind of deeper analysis. And please share your experiences, your feelings, your own insights about this week in the comments below. Let's navigate this together. Until the next transmission, stay aware, stay grounded, and take care of your energy. Subscribe for more critical insights.